Terrence Howard's life was rough from the very start. Born to a teenage mom and a dad who Terrence describes as a pimp, his life was engulfed by non-traditional views of love and relationships. The hustle and flow actor has made headlines for his messy romances and divorces, and the way he treats the women in his life is stranger than anything you can ever imagine. Here's what we know about Terrence Howard's bizarre dating habits. To understand his views on relationships, we have to take you all the way back to 1968. 16-year-old Anita Howard was expecting her second child with her husband, 18-year-old Tyrone Howard. Anita decided she wasn't ready for another baby, so her brother agreed to take her to an abortion clinic. They stopped at a red light and Anita had a change of heart. She told her brother, no, this would not be happening if he wasn't meant to be here. Terrence Deshaun Howard was born on March 11, 1969 in Chicago. He told Rolling Stone his skin was so yellow the doctors thought he had jaundice. So they took him to a dark room and left him there for 3 days. In Terrence's mind, this is where things went wrong. He said, "No contact with mom, inside an incubator, inside a dark room, the first 3 days of my life." In 1971, 2-year-old Terrence and his family were at a department store to see Santa Claus. A 36-year-old man named Jack Fitzpatrick was also there with his 4 children and his pregnant wife. According to Page 6, an argument broke out between Terrence's dad and the other man about who was next in line. Terrence's dad, who was 21 at the time, took out a nail file and used it against the other man, ultimately taking his life. His father spent 11 months behind bars. NPR revealed the Howard family fell into poverty after his dad was sent away. And when he returned home, Terrence said his dad was a completely different person. His parents got divorced and his mom moved to LA to try to make it as an actress. Terrence split his time between LA with his mom and in Cleveland with his dad. He told the New York Times his dad and uncles were pimps and he learned a lot from them. He said, "They taught me to open women up, but I leave scars." He later clarified to Elle magazine that they were, quote, pimps in the figurative sense. He said the men in his family also taught him the most important advice: whoever has the least interest in the relationship holds all the power. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Terrence said that in school he was teased for his skin color and for being a pretty boy, and things at home weren't any better. According to the New York Times, he emancipated himself from his family at the age of 16. 2 years later, he moved to New York and landed a role in this popular sitcom. Terrence told the New York Times, "I conned the casting lady to let me audition and she gave me the part. But they cut me out of the show. I was angry." He didn't have to con women in the dating world though. However, some people believe his superiority complex ruined his chances of having a healthy relationship. An anonymous source told the New York Post he thinks that he is truly God's gift to women, and he expects subservience. At the age of 21, he married Lori McComas. They had 3 children together, and in 1995, they moved to Los Angeles so Terrence could find more acting opportunities. Eventually, they separated due to his infidelities. Terrence told Rolling Stone he went to see a therapist and was diagnosed with intimacy addiction. As his marriage fell apart, he told the New York Times he was ready to quit the business and even contemplated taking his own life. The one thing that saved him was when he landed his breakout role in the 1999 film The Best Man. His career was finally headed in the right direction, but his marriage to Lori was still a hot mess. In 2001, she hung up on him during a heated telephone conversation. In response, Terrence went to her house, broke the front door, ran through the screen door, grabbed her arm, and reportedly hit her in the face twice. He and Lori divorced in 2003, remarried in 2005, only to divorce again in 2007 after Lori reconnected with her high school sweetheart. Terrence was back on the market. Perhaps he wasn't looking for love, but he was open to meeting new people. He told Essence magazine he tried to talk to both Halle Berry and Gabrielle Union, but neither of them called him back. For the ladies who gave him the time of day, Terrence had some very strict requirements. He told Elle magazine he liked women who looked like him and shared his physical features. He also claimed that intimacy had been detrimental to him in the past, so he was abstaining from all bedroom activities. He said his new rule allowed him to date 3 or 4 women at a time without getting too attached. He admitted that some of the women would push him into taking things further. He said, "Afterward, I would feel unclean, like I'd compromised my own values." Another strict requirement had to do with personal hygiene. He told Elle magazine he expected to see baby wipes in every woman's bathroom. He added, "And if she doesn't make the adjustment to baby wipes, I'll know she's not completely clean." His dating life had to take a back seat in 2008 when his mom was diagnosed with colon cancer. She passed away that same year at the age of 56, and he told the Entertainment Industry Foundation,
"You never really know how important somebody is until they're not there anymore."
On an unknown date, Terrence began dating a woman named Michelle Gent. The New York Daily News reported that in 2009, he told Michelle he wanted to end his life, and he pretended to swallow a handful of Valtrex, a medication used to treat herpes. Terrence recalled the event and said he only did it because he wanted to break up with Michelle. Nonetheless, they eventually got engaged. Terrence admitted he cheated on her with multiple women throughout their engagement because he didn't think he and Michelle were compatible in the bedroom. Deep down inside, he wanted to become a better man. According to the New York Daily News, he was a Jehovah's Witness at the time, and being monogamous and applying the principles of the Bible were important to him. So he and Michelle secretly got married in January 2010. Michelle said a week after tying the knot, Terrence laid hands on her. But that's not all. Terrence later admitted he and Michelle experimented with different substances because being under the influence was the only time they were ever happy. A year after they got married, they separated, and in February 2011, she filed for divorce. Michelle threatened to leak damaging info about Terrence to the public. And in response, the Chicago Tribune reports Terrence paid her $40,000 in hush money in addition to a spousal support settlement. In December 2011, E! News reported Michelle was granted a restraining order after she claimed Terrence threatened to take her life. Weeks later, Terrence filed a restraining order of his own, claiming Michelle didn't like black people and accusing her of still trying to extort him with the juicy information she was in possession of. What information did Michelle have? A lot. According to People magazine, Michelle had phone recordings of Terrence having naughty conversations with other women. There were also text messages and emails from Terrence that exposed his substance issue, infidelities, their threesomes, and a video of him dancing in his birthday suit. The final bombshell was Terrence admitting he paid Michelle the $40,000 in hush money to keep her from exposing his herpes diagnosis to the public. When Michelle's lawyer asked Terrence if he gave Michelle the STD, Terrence answered, "Yes, I did," or "She gave it to me." A judge later ruled in Terrence's favor and reversed the divorce settlement. Michelle kept him in and out of court for years, and a later hearing ordered the actor to pay her $1.3 million in past due spousal support. He and Michelle attempted to reconcile in July 2013 by taking a trip to Costa Rica. But while there, Terrence allegedly put his hands on her inside their vacation home. Michelle pepper sprayed him in defense, and upon returning to Los Angeles, she was granted yet another restraining order. Terrence was back on the prowl. In late 2013, he went to an LA restaurant and spotted a woman having lunch with a man. Terrence walked up to the man and said, "I don't know if she's your wife or girlfriend, but she's absolutely stunning." The woman was Miranda Pack, and the man was her old boss. Miranda told Terrence he was very bold to approach them. Terrence responded, "Well, only a tiger can approach a tiger." According to Rolling Stone, they got married 3 weeks later. Terrence was still stuck in the past, though. The New York Daily News reports he was still in contact with his ex-wife, Michelle Gent, and told her he would drop Miranda if Michelle would take him back. In mid-2014, he and Miranda split up, and in early 2015, she filed for divorce citing irreconcilable differences. They were able to work things out around the time Terrence landed his role on the show Empire. In June 2015, he and Miranda welcomed their first son. Miranda told Rolling Stone they had an amazing connection, but she knew Terrence wasn't perfect. She said he didn't cook, didn't do dishes, and didn't lift a finger around the house. She called him selfish before jokingly saying, "I probably leave him 30 times a month." If that didn't raise enough eyebrows, Miranda said that after 2 years of marriage, they had only gone out to restaurants about 2 or 3 times. They never went grocery shopping together, never went to the movies, and she had never even received a gift from him. In addition, she said Terrence spent all of his free time creating plastic shapes and 3-dimensional building blocks tied together by a copper wire. Terrence confirmed they worked on the pieces together for about 17 hours every day. Even though he was making a decent paycheck on Empire, he told Rolling Stone his checks were garnished by his ex-wife Michelle to cover her spousal support payments. Terrence revealed Miranda was the one paying the rent on their Chicago apartment, but they had plans to buy a house in the San Fernando Valley after he got his spousal support situation squared away. But there was another roadblock in the way. According to People magazine, he and Miranda quietly divorced in July 2015. The friendly exes walked the red carpet at the Emmys just 2 months after their divorce was finalized. Miranda gave birth to their second son in August 2016, making Terrence a father of 5. And in December 2018, he proposed to Miranda with a 7-carat diamond engagement ring. This will be the second time Terrence remarries an ex-wife, and despite his interesting relationship history, we wish him the best. If after listening to Terrence Howard's dating history you think he's crazy, he would probably agree with you. He told Rolling Stone, "The sooner people declare me insane, the sooner I'll be free."